So in this video I'm going to talk about the CAA Class 2 medical, potentially the most important thing really in getting your pilot license, because if you don't get medical clearance you can't be a pilot. So in this video I'm just about to go in and we'll talk about why you need to do it and the process when I come back out, and hopefully I pass the medical and I can continue my pilot training. Okay, I'm back home now after going for my medical, as per the intro. I'll cut to the chase. Unfortunately, I didn't get the result that I was hoping for today. I've got to have some additional tests, so I didn't leave the building with my Class 2 medical approval. But it's not over yet, so I'm making sure I keep positive. I talked to you a little bit about the steps and the next steps for me, because I think maybe relevant for other people, and kind of what happened in the medical examination, so you know kind of what to prepare for. So I'm not going to go into all the differences. Basically, for a PPL you need a Class 2 medical. If you're doing brain's not working now, commercial, you need a Class 1 medical. If you're doing the LAPL, I don't think you need a Class 2 medical. I think you can just go and see your standard doctor for sign off. But anyway, obviously, me doing the PPL, need a Class 2 medical, so let me tell you what they test whilst you're in there and how they do that, and then talk to you about kind of the results for me and the next steps that we've got to kind of wait a few more weeks for some additional testings. And yeah, it is what it is. So first off, when I got in there, required to do a urine test, or provide a urine sample. So give you a little cup, go do your business in there, so make sure you've had some water on the way down there so that you're good to go. And then they're just basically testing that for any blood, signs of diabetes, any infections or anything like that. So that was all good, no problem whatsoever with that. Then they talk about your medical history. So one thing I should mention, at the time of doing this video, again in November 2021, you have to request access to be able to have your medical via the CAA portal. So you go into the CAA portal, request a service that you want being medical. There is then a medical form that you fill out, basically talking about any prior medical history, whether you smoke, how much you drink, and all that kind of thing. And then you pay £8 to submit that, and that money goes direct to the CAA. If you go for your medical without that done, you can't get your medical certificate issued, even if everything is all fine. You have to have completed that and sent it off, and that can take about 10 days sometimes to get that approved in the CAA portal. So the next stage there is we go through the medical history that you've submitted. So the aviation medical examiner will obviously read that ahead of time, just check that there's anything that you missed or anything that needs to be clarified, but that was all fine for me. Then they take your weight and they take your height, so there's got scales in there and a measurer for that, and then with those two things they basically look at the official charts for what your BMI is. So it turns out there's specific requirements related to BMI, and that's the one basic issue that's kind of tripped me up. My BMI was higher than one of the thresholds. That now means I have to have some blood tests done, and blood pressure tests. So that's basically what I've got to have done. So I know I'm not the slimmest guy in the world, but I'm also always been quite a largely built guy, so definitely obviously benefit from losing some weight. But I am active, I am fit, playing squash and cycling and that kind of thing. So a little bit frustrating to me that they don't also verify fat level as well. So it is what it is. I'm not going to argue about it. So hopefully I can reduce my weight to whatever level it is that I need, and the blood pressure test and everything are fine, and the blood tests come back to show there's no issues or risk or anything. So I've had to get a doctor's appointment to get that done. They can't do that themselves, so I'll wait 2 to 3 weeks to get a doctor's appointment for blood tests, and then also get the results back from those and have my blood pressure done. Next thing they do is eyesight tests. So 2 tests for that. a book basically, which is I guess for nearsighted testing whether you can kind of read the different levels of print in there. No issues for me whatsoever with that. I don't wear glasses, but I could read easily the smallest print in the book, left eye and right eye covered. Then you go on to the standard eyesight chart that you're more familiar with when you go to the opticians. Again, no issues there for me. Left and right eye covered. I can read the bottom line without any issues. So eyesight, all good. Then you go on to the colour blindness tests. So there's basically a book that they will flick through, and you have to read the numbers on each of them. Go through all those. Again, no issues for me, no errors. I think you can make a couple of errors and still be within tolerance, but again, no errors for me on that. Then they do an ear inspection. So it's basically a general look in your ears. I can't remember the name of the specific test as well, but they get you whilst they're looking in your ear to hold your nose, close your mouth, and kind of blow in, like when you're trying to pop your ear, so they can make sure that's all functioning properly. No issues with that. Then they do a hearing test, basically to make sure you can hear quiet noises from behind you and everything. Again, no issues for me with that. Then they do a blood pressure test. Again, just to check your blood pressure. So mine was slightly higher in this session. I've had this before where I've had a blood pressure test. Doesn't help that I just come from a stressful meeting. I guess weight obviously will play a part in that as well. But I've had this before where the blood pressure reading was higher, and then the next day when I went and had it tested, it was fine. I don't know if it's just a thing with me or not. But yeah, so tested blood pressure. And then they'll look to check your pulse as well. So what is your resting heart rate? So again, heart rate was fine. Then for your first class 2 medical, you have to have an ECG as well. So that can be additional cost that you may have to factor in. But you do an ESG for the first class 2 medical. Don't you have to have it done the second time round? When you're over 40 like I am, class 2 medical typically will last for 2 years before you have to kind of redo your medical. But if there's any nuances within that, so one of the things he was explaining to me that if you're in a certain BMI category, you may have to have a medical examination every year as opposed to every 2 years. And then after the ECG test, they did reflex tests. So that's basically where I think they're called reflex tests. Where they've got the little rubber mallet and they're basically going around on your elbows and your knees and your ankles to see how things work out. So nothing mega to be worried about. If you're generally fit and healthy, which I thought I was, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. It really seems to me that the BMI is the main thing. So I don't weigh myself very regularly or anything like that. So in hindsight, probably should have done more research on that. But yeah, that's where we are. So I probably won't publish this video until I've had the follow-up tests and then had confirmation back, hopefully that everything's still okay. So I was kind of holding off trying to decide what I was doing in terms of training and everything, because obviously you can't do solo until you got your medical as well as passed some of the written exams. But the medical examiner basically said that he thinks that I will be able to fly. Again, just even if it just means slight delay in the medical assessment, if losing some weight to meet whatever criteria they want, I can do that. And the one thing that was interesting, actually, even though obviously I had the medical examination today, and this is actually covered in the aviation law stuff anyway, but I didn't realise it would work. So literally, however many weeks or months it takes to get the results of the tests and the sign-off and everything, my medical certificate will start from today when I had the first assessment. So it won't start from when I get like the all clear and it's a piece of paper with a stamp on it. It starts from now regardless. So I'm kind of, these additional tests kind of eating into the time a little bit. But yeah, so I'll leave you now and probably come back. It's probably going to be December, mid-December maybe. Hopefully this will be a nice pre-Christmas present. But I get the stamps that I need and the approval, and I get my Class 2 medical, and we can get on with stuff. So, yep, I'll see you in a few weeks, but you'll see this in just a few seconds. Okay, quick little update in this video. After having the medical, on the next day I had a lesson, so I took the opportunity to speak to the instructor to have them do my medical flight test. Basically, all that's involved in this is just to check that you can get into an aircraft and out of an aircraft safely in the event of emergencies, etc., and that you can operate all the controls and everything without kind of being hindered or having any issues. So wasn't worried about this thing at all, because obviously I've already demonstrated that I can fly and control the plane and get in and out. So really more just a tick box exercise that was completed by my instructor, and I dropped that back off. So got an appointment in a couple of weeks for these blood tests, and then probably a week or so to wait for them to come back, I guess, I don't know. And then hopefully all will be good and we get the green light, and I'll finish this video. But yeah, we'll cut into when I next get the update.
3 weeks later. So yeah, it's been 3 weeks since I last kind of added the piece to this video. So I've been through the process of going to the GP, having my blood tests done, and they also asked me to take 4 blood pressure readings with a provided blood pressure reading machine for a week. They have obviously been handed in, and today, or early on today at least, I had the results back of that. So my blood pressure is fine, no issues there. One of the comments was apparently it's quite common for something that's called white coat syndrome, and basically what that means is people get a little bit nervous and apprehensive when they go to see the doctor, and they think that equates for the slightly higher blood pressure. When I obviously had the test with the AME, and my blood results are also all normal. So the blood, I think it was the lipid count and the blood sugar or something were the main things, but they tested everything and everything came back as normal. So I've sent those off to the AME. That should basically be all that's needed. So then I just have to wait and see if I get the Class 2 medical sign-off. I think I should. Don't see any reason why not now. Got everything I need. So hopefully the next time I update in this part of the video will be with a medical certificate, and that'll be the final thing that I needed. And we'll have to see if it's going to be valid for 1 year or 2 years, depending on what the AME thinks of the results, I guess. So yes, fingers crossed. So it's been a month since I had my Class 2 medical, and then obviously doing the blood pressure testing and the blood tests and everything. But it's finally arrived in the post today. I have my Class 2 medical certificate, and it's valid for 2 years. And yeah, I'm happy. That was the final thing that I needed. So obviously now when I'm ready to solo, I have everything I kind of required. So the whole process for me, from initial application via the CAA portal, obviously then scheduling the AME appointment to getting this piece of paper, was 2 months, which seems like a long time as you're going through it, but actually it wasn't that bad. Hopefully this video has helped you when you're applying for your Class 2 medical, kind of how things go, how it might go, and the experience that I had. Leave any comments or questions you have down in the description. I'll try and help. Please like this video if it was interesting and helpful. Appreciate it's probably a long one. And consider subscribing and pressing the notification bell icon for more Spectrum Geeks related videos, flying, cars, all sorts of stuff on this channel. So thanks very much, take care of yourself, and until the next video, goodbye for now.